Hello there, friends of the Hungarian language. I'm back. I went to the library and I picked up this textbook, Learning Material, Learn Hungarian. I haven't uploaded a video for about a year, so now I have reached chapter 5, ötödik lecke, and we have 6 different verbs that we have to conjugate. The verbs are stand, sing, sit, read, take or buy, and cook. To stand, alni. First, I stand, allok. You stand, alls. He or she stands, all. We stand, allunk. You stand, altok, and they stand, alnak. And then you do the same with the verb to sing. Enekelnek, enekels, enekel, enekelnunk, enekellunk, enekeltek, enekelnek. And sit, ylni, ylek, yls, yl, ylunk, yltök, ylnek. And if you urge someone to sit, you say ylle. And we have read, olvasok, olvasol, te olvasol is you read. Olvas, meaning he or she reads. Olvasunk, olvastok, olvasnak. And vessek, I take or buy. Vessel, you take or buy. And we have főzök, meaning I cook. Then we see a couple of examples. This figure is, he stands and he writes, meaning I stand and I write. In alok es irok. Te yls es olvasol. You sit and read. Ö főz, she cooks. Mi alunk es irunk. We stand and write. Ti yltek es olvastok. They sit and read. Ők főznek. They cook. 2 women there, they are cooking. Turn the page. Time for some reading. Magyarul tanulunk. We study Hungarian. Itt van az egyetem. That is, here is the university. Egyetem. Ez itt egy kis tanterem. That is, here is a small classroom. Tanterem is classroom, and tanulni, as you all know, means to study. And terem is room, so study room, literally. Itt tanulnak a külföldi diákok magyarul. Here, word order is a little bit different in Hungarian, so I will say with a wrong word order in English. That would be here study. The külföldi is foreign, students Hungarian. So with the correct word order, that would be in English, that is here the foreign students study Hungarian. Let's see. Minden hallgató jelen van. Each student is present, and hallgató is student, jelen is present. That is, they are, is there. So there's nothing about gift here. Is present. Helen tanulsz Tanulok, mert mindjárt 8 óra. I study, mert I think it's, let's see. I study because soon it's 8 o'clock. And here is the Mr. Teacher, the teacher, meaning Mr. So, tanulok, mert mindjárt 8 óra, és itt a tanár úr. Mindjárt is soon, and 8 is 8, óra is the time, so it's 8 o'clock. Soon is 8 o'clock. Ti is tanultok. Are you also studying? Yes, we also study. We write and read. Ki rajzol ott? Who draws there? Edward Smith egy angoldiak. Edward Smith, an English student, he can draw very well. Nagyon jól tud rajzolni. Is he, nagyon is very, jól is well or good. Tud, can, and rajzolni is to draw. Azok a diákok is rajzolnak ott hátul, meaning the students behind also draw. Do the students behind also draw? Hátul meaning behind. Nem, ők nem rajzolnak. No, they don't draw. Ők csak beszélgetnek. Ülnek és várnak. They only talk, sit and wait. Már itt van a tanár úr. But here is the teacher. Ő kérdez, a hallgatók félelnek. He asks and the students answer. Let's continue with this dialogue. A tanár magyarul kérdez. The teacher asks in Hungarian. Beszél ön magyarul? Do you speak Hungarian? A hallgatók magyarul félelnek. The students answer in Hungarian. Nem, beszélek magyarul. No, I speak Hungarian. De franciául és németül elég jól beszélek. But French and German I don't speak good enough. Magyarul most tanulok. I learn Hungarian now. Ki tud magyarul? Who knows Hungarian? Én tudok magyarul, de nem nagyon jól. I know Hungarian, but. De means but. Nem nagyon jól, but not very good. Oroszul is tud. Russian. Do you know Russian as well? Also know Russian? Értek oroszul, de beszélni még nem tudok. I understand Russian, but I cannot talk yet. I cannot speak it yet. Ki akar olvasni? Who wants to read? Én. I want to. Maguk írni akarnak? Meaning, do you want to write? Nem, mi fordítani akarunk. No, we want to translate. Szeretnek rajzolni? Do you want to draw? Én nagyon szeretek rajzolni. I want to draw very much. De ő nem szeret, but he or she doesn't. Szeretnek önök énekelni? Oh, what happened now with the focus? Where was I? Do they want to sing? Szeretnek önök énekelni? Nagyon szeretünk énekelni is. We also want to sing. Nagyon szeretünk means we would very much like to. Nagyon szeretünk énekelni is. We also very much like to sing. Franciául vagy németül szeretek inkább beszélni. Would you like to speak French or German? Inkább means better. Would you rather like to speak French or German? That would be the correct translation. Mi inkább franciául beszélünk. We would rather speak French. Mert németül nem tudunk jól. Because German, we don't know German very well. We don't know German well. Nem tudunk jól. Tudsz oroszul? Do you know Russian? Igen, tudok, de még nem jól. Yes, I know, but not very good yet. So this page 82 ends with a rather difficult text. Try to read and translate. A tanár áll és magyaráz. The teacher stands and explains. A fiúk és a lányok figyelnek. The boys and the girls listen. They listen. A tanár kérdez, és a hallgatók magyarul felelnek. The teacher asks and the students answer in Hungarian. Ha a tanár számol, if the teacher counts, a tanulók is számolnak, the students also count. A hallgatók ülnek, nem állnak. The students, let's see, the students hallgatók ülnek, nem állnak. The students sit, they don't stand. A szovjet hallgató nagyon szorgalmas. The Soviet student is very hard-working. As you know, it's an old book. There's no Soviet Union anymore, but in this book there is a Soviet student, and he's very hard-working. A szovjet hallgató nagyon szorgalmas. Jól felel. He answers good. Well. Ha a tanuló nem szorgalmas, if the student is not hardworking, nem tanul, rosszul felel. If he's not studying, he will answer bad. He will answer badly. Most egy kanadai diák olvas és fordít. Now, a Canadian student reads and translates. Ő nagyon szeret olvasni és fordítani. He very much likes to Read and translate. Egy Czechoslovak aspirans, az Czechoslovakian aspirant, is akar magyarul olvasni, also wants to read Hungarian, de csengetnek, but I think it's the bell is ringing. 9 óra. It's 9 o'clock. And we have a proverb. Jó újtétárs a tudomány. Science is a good friend, or something like that. On page 83, we see a map of Europe. This book was published in 1965, so some of the countries on the map do no longer exist. For instance, the Soviet Union, and Yugoslavia. On the bottom of the page, we see a list of words with the name of the countries and what you call the inhabitants of the countries and what languages they speak. In Bulgaria, they speak Bulgarian, Bulgarul. Page 84, some words. All, stand, innekel, sing, yll, sit, olvas, read, ves, take, fös, cook, ir, write. I think I'm familiar with most of the words here. Inkab, meaning better, that's a new one. Page 85, pronunciation. You have the letter T and D. The T and D sounds must be pronounced without aspiration. So, and how you should put your tip of the tongue to the gums directly behind the top teeth. Tabla, toll, tud, astal. Toll, I think that's pencil. And then you have the long consonants. They are pronounced very long. Ross, which is bad, for instance. As in other many languages, there are different ways of addressing people. When you want to say something to an unknown person on the street, for instance, you might want to use the polite form, and that's önök. For instance, in the German language, they say Sie as the polite form. For example, sprechen Sie Deutsch, meaning do you speak German politely? Or sprichst du Deutsch, which is the informal, unofficial form, which you may use at home with your family or friends. As you know, in French, they say parlez-vous français, the formal version, and tu parles français, which is the informal form. So, in many languages, you can use informal and formal ways of addressing people, and so is the case in the Hungarian language. You can also say maga, maguk. That's another form that you use if you speak to a person who is of the same rank as you are. That is not something that I am familiar with in other languages. You can also say Mr. Ur. In English, you would probably use Mr. or Sir if you're addressing someone on the street and you want to know the directions or something like that. Do you, sir, know where Bond Street is? For instance, but in Hungarian you would use ön with someone you're not familiar with, and maga with someone who is of the same rank as you are. Turn the page to Page 86. The verbs, the verb base and the third person singular are the same. Tanul, meaning learning, is the same as he or she learns. Tanul. Same thing with var, wait, to wait, and tud, can. And then continue with the conjugation of verbs. Tud, meaning can. In tudok, tuds, tud, I can, you can, he or she can. And szeretek, szeretsz, szeret. I like, you like, he or she likes. Ülök, ülsz, ül. I sit, you sit, he or she sits. Page 87. On page 87, you can read that not all verbs are conjugated in the same way, depending on how the verb is spelled. So, for instance, olvasni, which means to read, is conjugated differently in the second singular form. Te olvasol, compared to tud, tudni. In the second person singular, it's tuds. So notice the difference between those two verbs. On page 88, at the bottom of that page, we read about the personal pronoun as subject. In Hungarian, you don't need to use the personal pronoun all the time. As olvasni akarok, meaning I want to read. In English, we always use the personal pronoun I. I want to read. But not in Hungarian. So is it the case in Spanish? For instance, quiero leer, meaning I want to read. In Spanish, they don't use the personal pronoun, which is yo. Yo quiero leer. So that's not necessary. In Hungarian, the personal pronoun, in the first person is én akarok olvasni. But usually people don't use the personal pronoun. They only say olvasni akarok. On the top of page 89, we see the polite forms of address, maga and ön. They are put into examples. Tanul vagy olvas. Are you reading? Sorry, are you learning or reading? And if you want to say this politely, you just put the word maga at first. Maga tanul vagy olvas. Maga is used when you are on the same level as the person. And ön is used when you are talking to a superior person or someone you don't know, generally used when speaking to people one does not know, it says, and in official language. And maga, maguk is the plural form, maga single form, used in conversation between a lady and a gentleman and speaking to persons of the same rank. So these are the polite forms. Just use the polite form. Put the polite form before the verb when you speak to a person that you want to address politely. Simple as that. And then the word order in the Hungarian language. The word order can change, and this will give the sentence a different meaning. A fiúk tanulnak most. The boys are learning now. Most a fiúk tanulnak. the word order changes in Hungarian, but in English the word order is the same. So now we are at the top of page 90. Hol tanulnak most a fiúk? Where are the boys learning now? Hol meaning where. Tanulnak learning. Most now a fiúk the boys. So the stress is here on the word hol. Hol tanulnak most a fiúk, meaning where are the boys learning now. Stress and word order. And beszélnek itt magyarul, meaning is Hungarian spoken here. Now page 91. The adjective as adverb of manner. I don't know exactly what that means. We'll just translate. He reads Hungarian magyarul, olvas. Beszélsz magyarul? Do you speak Hungarian? The U and the L, you put those letters after Magyar. He reads in Hungarian. So rosszul. In English, you change. Also change the adjective when it becomes an adverb. I read badly, for example. Badly. Rosszul. Charles learns badly. Károly rosszul tanul. Or Charles is bad, that would be Károly rossz van. And then we repeat a couple of words. We have to know the antonyms, the opposite words. Vékony. I don't remember vékony. Jó is good. So the antonym of jó would be rossz, which is bad. Jó is good, rossz bad. The last page, we have to read and translate. I will just read and see what I know. A hallgatók szeretnek rajzolni. That means the students like to draw. A szorgalmas tanulók figyelnek. Oh, the hardworking. I don't know really. Szorgalmas is hardworking. Tanulok is I learn. Figyelnek. I don't remember that. Ha a tanár beszél. If the teacher talks, I think something like that. Figyelnek. Let's see if I can translate that. Figyelnek. Meaning listen. Okay. Itt jól beszélnek magyarul. Here they speak good Hungarian. Ki áll ott? Who stands there? Ők nem állnak, hanem ülnek. They don't stand, but they sit. A tanárnő kérdez. The female teacher asks. A diákok felelnek. The students, the pupils, answer. Ti tanultok, olvastok, számoltok és írtok. Ti tanultok, olvastok, számoltok és írtok. They learn, read, count, and write. Tudsz németül? Do you know German? Igen, tudok. Yes, I do. Jól beszélsz franciául? Do you speak good French? Nem, franciául nem tudok jól. No, French I don't speak good or well. Most magyarul tanulok. Now I learn Hungarian. Then we have kérdés, félelét, questions and answers. Question and answer. Hány óra van? How much time is it? Kik tanulnak magyarul? Which ones are learning Hungarian? Then at the bottom of the page you have to translate this girl is hard working. Is as Lyan szorgalmas. She is now learning Hungarian. Most tanul magyarul or something like that. I won't go any further because I may make some mistakes here and I don't want that, so I will sit and translate later on. And that's the end of chapter 5 at page 92.